We are weeks into protests calling for social justice and police reform in Portland. And, a big part of bringing you a look at the demonstrations, having journalists step right into those clashes.
Reporters and photographers from all around the Rose City, including here at Coyne, have been closely documenting what happens on our streets. Joining us live with a closer look at some of the work Portland Monthly has been doing to cover these ongoing demonstrations is digital editor Gabriel Granillo. Good morning, Gabe.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Excited to talk to you about this. I know you've been working really hard over the last few weeks. Hopefully you're getting caught up on sleep at some point. I know you put together a piece with photographers and their experience out covering these protests. And I think it's a really interesting look at what other people are seeing too, because, one camera can't see everything.
Right, yeah, and that was kind of the intention going out. I remember when this whole thing started, I immediately grabbed my camera and went out and started documenting. And then just sort of as I was out there, I saw also a lot of other people out there with their cameras. So I really wanted to try and get these multiple perspectives, especially from people within the Black community or people of color. Because I think sometimes those voices tend to be marginalized, especially in traditional journalism and in traditional media. So I spoke with four local photographers, some of whom are independent journalists, some of whom are freelance journalists, some of whom are not journalists at all. But the four I spoke with are Mariah Harris, who I believe Coyne also actually spoke with. But she is a really incredible, amazing photographer and very funny, fun person. And she's been really active within the Rose City Justice community, organizing these movements and these protests. And I think that really shows in her work. And because she's organizing all of this, I think her photography and what she creates is really this intimate portrait of sort of the soul of this movement, and they're really emotional photos, and I think they're really powerful. I also spoke with Joseph Blake Jr., who is a local educator. He just recently graduated from Portland State University, and he didn't originally want to cover the protest in the way that he has been covering it, but he told me when he was out there, he took some photos and posted them on Instagram and shared just a little personal anecdote about his history with confrontations with the police. And he said that garnered a lot of response and people really asking a lot of questions. So I think he sees himself almost as this educator, sort of, as well as taking these really powerful raw images. He's out there sort of educating people on the personal history, his own history, as well as this larger history within the Black community. I also talked with Josue Rivas. He is an indigenous photographer. He kind of grew to prominence during the Standing Rock protests. But he really has this mentality of collaboration within photography, he's really against this traditional idea of journalism where photographers just kind of swoop in from the outside, take photos, and then sort of go back and make a book about it and sell a bunch of books, make a bunch of money, and they don't really give back to the community. And so I think his approach has always been, let's collaborate on this project together and let's tell the story that you want to tell. And the last person with whom I spoke was Alex Whitwer, and he's a freelance photojournalist with Willamette Week. And I wanted to close on him because he talked a lot about the responsibility and the role of journalists, how we are there to elevate. That should ultimately be our goal, is to help find these stories that perhaps are overlooked or marginalized and bring them up and spread them out.
Yeah, no, it sounds really fascinating. We were looking at least some of the clips there on the website. Now, you also have a video that Portland Monthly produced, showing what it was like inside the protests.
Yes, yeah. So this was a project that a freelance videographer named Rashad Saleh reached out to me. And he and I really collaborated on this as far as like the direction that we wanted to go. Because, I think there is this mentality within journalists to sort of capture like the fire and the fury and the madness of everything, which, you know, that's an aspect of these protests that's certainly worth capturing. But I think what you know, Rashad and I really wanted to talk about was not only, you know, what you're seeing there, which is, you know, sort of the Justice Center protests, which certainly is a part of it, but really these sort of quieter moments of people educating each other. We wanted to talk to Rose City Justice, who has primarily been the group organizing these movements, although they've sort of taken a step back in recent weeks. So yeah, we just really wanted to paint this sort of holistic picture of what these movements look like inside,
Yeah.
as opposed to looking at sort of this grand view of, you know, the Burnside Bridge, which is amazing, but I really think at this moment we should really start, you know, honing in on, you know, some of the voices within this movement.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely, Gabe. I don't mean to cut you off. We're almost out of time
No,
here.
no.
I would encourage everyone to go take a look at some of this coverage because it is a very cool inside look